finally, Mike, the NBA, one they had a season, but it was sort of a circus, ridiculous all the amount of games, you know.
It really was.
Now we're to the part I like. It's the playoff time.
Yep.
It's like hockey. I don't pay attention until it gets to the playoffs.
Absolutely.
Do or die, baby. We're going to talk West first, then we'll get East. Because the West, you know, I like the Spurs, like the Thunder here, and they're the top 2 seeds. I really think they're impressive, and I think their coaches, especially the Spurs, have set themselves up all year that they'd sit guys. 3 games in a row, fine. We're going to sit our guys the 3rd game. They're ready for this season to start. I'm talking the playoff season. Is there anybody you like here? Any matchups? Anything?
You know, last year the Spurs were as good in the regular season, but I didn't think they had a chance. And I didn't really buy into it. This year it feels completely different, and I think Popovich has done a masterful job of tweaking the team a little bit and keeping those guys with their minutes, the big 3 on their team, with their minutes limited. And I think Tony Parker has got to be healthier than he's been for a long time. Because he's obviously rejuvenated, and he's kind of the guy on their team now. And they have, I was looking at a thing today, this guy on ESPN does this player efficiency rating, which is an overall rating of everything a player does in terms of the efficiency and everything. And their big 3 are all like in the top 18 in the league in that metric, which doesn't mean everything. I mean, I'm not suggesting it's everything, but it tells you something about how well those guys have played kind of per minute when they're on the floor.
He's done a great job, Popovich, of mixing in the splitters and the different the Blairs and different guys that. But it's really interesting to watch the transition from Tim Duncan's team to Mano, who got hurt early in the year, Ginobili, and now Tony Parker has really emerged as the key. He runs the offense, but he gets the key shots too. I think he's finally over Eva Longoria. He's moved on.
Yeah,
and I think his head's clear now.
Good job.
Yeah, you can't count the Lakers, but it just seems like they're one trip pony. They've got Kobe.
Yeah.
I love Kobe. They beat the Thunder on Sunday, but in a double overtime game.
I think that was a smack in the face the Thunder needed. I think they're limping to the finish line a little bit, but I think they're going to be okay for the playoffs.
The big guys shot poorly in that Durant and Westbrook.
Yeah,
and I think that if they don't do that, they're going to win that game. They are just loaded with good talent and good coaching as well. So I really think the West is always good. Even Denver is like the 7th, 8th seed. They're good, but I still like the guys at the top.
I 100% agree with you. I think 1 through 7. The West is a lot better than the East. But in terms of teams that actually have a chance to win it, I think there's 2 in the East and 2 in the West.
Yeah, I really do. Let's jump into the East.
There we go.
The top ones are the Bulls and the Heat. The bottom ones right now are the Knicks and the Sixers. They're tied, but the Knicks have the tiebreaker. And I sort of like, if it's got to be the Sixers at 8, that they're 8, not 7. I'd rather they play the Bulls.
I think they match up much better with the Bulls. We were agreeing too much here, Starkey. But great basketball minds. Let's face it.
Yeah, the Sixers didn't match up well with the Heat even last year, so that's just bad. Right. The Bulls, if the Sixers have any kind of chance for Sixers fans out there, it's because the Bulls, Rose has been dinged up for a while. He's not.
He really has.
He doesn't have some of his explosive because his legs right now. And he's such a key guy. They have other good players. I think they can get into Noah. They had a game. The Sixers won 1 game against the Bulls. Could have won 2 this year.
Yeah.
It could be an exciting series. Could I see an upset? Yeah, but the Bulls are pretty darn good too.
Yeah, I don't see the Sixers winning the series. Certainly, I think they have a chance to compete. The Bulls to me had no before Rose got hurt. I felt they had no chance to win the championship with Rose monopolizing the ball and being their entire half-court offense.
Too much Allen Iverson.
But then he got hurt, and whether that's because that's who Rose is or because that's necessary, I'm not sure. But anyway, he got hurt, and they played very well without him and won games without him. And now I think there's going to be a little bit of a wobble where they figure out how to work Rose back into what he was. But if they find that, and they have one of the best coaches out there who gives them a chance. If they find that, I think they can win the whole deal. I really do. I think they can win the whole deal, which I would not have said before Rose got hurt.
The difference is, I think, with the Bulls and the Sixers, where the Sixers won 1 game against the Heat, I think they can win 2 against the Bulls. But that's as far as I'm going.
Yeah, you got it.
I like the Celtics to possibly, if they play the Heat, they seem to have their number sometimes. The Celtics could they make one more ride in the sunset? We'll see. But I'm sort of like you. I think the Bulls, as the number 1 team, are going to, if they play the Heat, they're going to beat the Heat because last year they had a good series against them. It's the Bulls to lose here.
I think there are teams that are good enough to upset one of these 4 teams that we're talking about.
Right.
But win the championship, I would be willing to bet that one of those 4 teams is going to win the whole deal.
Bulls, Heat, Thunder, Spurs.
Correct.